I'm going to go over the actual, I'm going to go through the menus. So, on your BeastX, you're going to notice it has a single button, because people are obsessed with putting a single button these days. And as you can see, this button, it's this black one up here. See if I can get it right there. That button is your setup button, and that shows you how to get in between the various menus. And so yes, what you're going to do, for starters, is take that button and you need to hold it down until this right here starts flashing, and then it goes solid. Once that button is solid, you can let it go and you've entered into the setup mode. I don't know why my camera isn't focusing, but yeah. Also guys, you should note that the way you switch, I think I mentioned this, is with the rudder stick on your radio. So we're going to start with setup menu A, and I'm doing this on the Blade 300X, and I highly recommend that if you have this heli, I recommend that you put it up here, because it's a huge pain in the ass if you're going to do it down here. So, once that is complete, and you have it in setup mode, we're going to go through the first menu. This is your status LED here. First thing you want to do is you're going to look at this. So you're going to see menu A is what's selected, and menu A is what tells you what orientation your AR7200 is in. If it's horizontal, like mine is, you're going to want to have the status LED red, and I'm changing this with the rudder stick on my radio. Now, if you want, and if yours on your particular helicopter, if it's mounted on its side, you're going to want this blue, like that. In my particular instance, I want this red because it's horizontal. So once I do that, I can click this button, or sorry, hit the rudder stick and it's red, so I know that that's what I want. Once I finish, once I've completed programming this area of the menu, I can quickly push the button and it'll move on to menu point B. Menu point B, the next thing we're going to do is set the servo pulse frequency. So, on most helicopters, the standard setting is 50 Hz for most analog servos. Now, if you do not know what it is, make sure that you put it at 50 Hz, because you could really screw up your servos if you don't know what you're doing. So you're going to have this one, and the blue flashing one is a 50 Hz stock setting, so that's what you want to put it at. If you have, there also is a user-defined setting where you can put in your own, but if you're the kind of person who needs this video, then you'll probably, and you don't know what your servos are, then you're probably just going to want this blue flashing setting. So next we can move on to setup menu point C. Point C is much the same as menu point B, except this is a selection for the tail servo. Now, this is very similar to the other one, where the standard setting is 1520 microseconds for the tail servo frequency, or pulse, sorry. And now, there are very few servos available that actually have anything different, so that is the blue LED. So once you have that selected, I'll show you the different ones. That's off, so that's user-defined setting, purple, red, blue. So yeah, blue is the one you want. So once you have blue selected, we can move on to the next menu point D. In menu point D, we're going to be setting the tail servo frequency. This is different from the pulse length. So the pulse length is essentially where your servo centers on its basis, but now we're going into the frequency. And so the standard setting on this is going to be the purple setting, which is, again, 50 Hz, just like the regular servos. So once you have that selected, it's as simple as moving on to the next menu, which is going to be E. So hit it again, and you've moved on. So now we're going to move on to setup menu point E. And this one's a little bit different. This is setting the tail servo endpoints, and rather than selecting everything with the rudder stick, what we're going to do, we're going to go over to our tail, and on our radio, we're actually going to use the rudder stick to set the endpoint. And once you do this, you let it sit for a second, and then the BeastX will acknowledge it by the the status LED, will flash. So I'm going to go as far as it wants to go in this direction without binding, and that's about it. So we're going to look at this, and it flashed. Now it's solid. That means we can start going the other direction. So we're going to go back over to our tail. Now we're going to start going the other direction, slowly. We're going to go all the way. That's about as far as this will go here. You can see, I didn't get it fast enough, but the BeastX acknowledged that. And so now we are good to go for menu point E. So now we're going to click the button again, move on to set at menu point F. Alright guys, I'm back. So, now I'm going to make another video that has the second part of this. There may be quite a few parts because, like I said, it's going to be a long video. The reason why I'm not going to make it all into one video is because currently my BeastX has a problem where the sensor directions aren't correct. But don't worry, all of the setup stuff I just showed you is completely correct. It's the exact same procedure. It's simply that the sensor directions are not correct on this one. So even though I've showed that to you, and that should help you, you'll have to wait until another video to go to the rest of the stuff and the parameter menu as well. So it may be a week or so, a week to 2 weeks before I get my next BeastX and this thing running again. So, but for now, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe so that more people can watch this video and find it helpful like you did. Thanks.